Hey everybody, Ben in Beta, and today I thought I would do an update on the accessories I purchased for my sunjoe pressure washer. So if you want to see the review video and sort of an overview of some of these things in a little bit more in depth, check out that video. I'll have that linked above. So basically, I'm trying to figure out if these products actually make it a better experience or do a better job at washing your car and helping you with detailing. I've had about 3 or 4 washes with all this equipment at this point, but I just wanted to really quickly recap what some of the products were. So one of them was this Flexzilla hose. It's 50 feet long and is ultra flexible, and that replaced the sunjoe hose connection. Then the next one is this Yamatic gun, which has a swivel connection on the end, so you can move it around very easily on the end of this. That comes with several different tips, as you see here, and it also came with this foam cannon. The other thing I picked up at that time were a bunch of the quick connects, so I could really easily and quickly connect all of my equipment. And the one thing that I've added since that time was quick connects for the hose to the house as well. So I've got quick connects the entire way. And we'll talk about whether or not those are a worthwhile upgrade and if any of this other stuff was actually something you'd want to purchase. Because I bought a $120 to $150 pressure washer, which had all of these things. They were just a little bit more cheaply made. So does spending another $100 to $150 on accessories actually make the experience better, and is it worth it? That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get into my latest wash on the Tacoma when it was quite dirty and just see how things are working.
I think any system would benefit from, doesn't matter if you're going to replace all of your hoses that you want or not, is quick connects for everything. This makes everything so much easier to just do really quick connections for all your water pieces. This just makes connecting so much easier. Definitely recommended that. Definitely recommend a flexible hose like this. There are a bunch of them. Flexzilla one works really well. Overflex is very good too, but they work really well and they make this job a lot easier. Yamatic gun, I really like this a lot as well, and it's worked great. It puts out more water than what comes with the sunjoe itself because it has a better nozzle on it and is much easier to use. And the nice part is it swivels too. So I love this system so far. Again, for not too much money, you can upgrade a cheap pressure washer, and then if you buy a nice pressure washer later on, you still have really good accessories. So definitely recommend. But I've done about 3 or 4 washes with all this stuff. Nothing's gone wrong. It's worked perfectly. So one accessory I did switch out was this foam cannon from the Yamatic system. I decided I would give this McKillian's one a try, mainly because it's got a big head to pour things in and it doesn't fall over when you set it down. And it's also supposed to have a little bit better foaming, so we'll see how this goes. And we'll compare the two, I guess, and see which one I think was better or easier to use. This was definitely easier, much easier to fill than the other one, which was nice. And it doesn't fall over, so I like that. Ooh, looks like we got a little bit on the lens there. All right, you can see how well this foamed up. Fantastic. Like, this is really, really, really nice and thick. I definitely recommend the McKillian's. It's quite good.
All right, so as you can see, I'm pretty happy with all of the things that I purchased. The quick connects, definitely something I'd recommend for everybody. This just makes life so much easier. I also really love this Flexzilla hose. Here's a few tips though. Make sure when you first get it, you really lay it out completely flat, especially if you can do that in the heat. It just kind of lets it release some of its memory, and it helps with any kind of tangles you might have initially. Once it's kind of gotten rid of that memory, you have no problems with it. I'm even able to go all the way around my truck with the 50-foot hose. 75 feet might make that a little bit easier, but I really don't need any more than 50 feet for what I'm using it for, and it works fantastically. Now, this Yamatic spray gun. I really like this thing a lot. It's so much easier to use and handle than what came with the sunjoe. So I also want to show you the different tips you get and the kind of water output they use. I'm typically using the 40-degree tip almost all the time. I might drop down to the 25-degree tip on the tires and wheels and the wheel wells when it's really dirty. That probably would have helped in this wash. So let's just see what these tips look like. Also try to throw up the comparison for each of the same stock tips so you can see the different water output and what that looks like. All right, here's the Yamatic system. Let's see what it looks like with nothing on it. The Yamatic tips will start at 0 and work our way back up. So there we go, quick connect here. All right, here's the 0 degree. All right, so you might be noticing a difference between this and the one that came with the sunjoe. And one of the reasons is this has a bigger orifice on it. That's an interesting word, but that's what it has, is a bigger orifice, and so there should be more water coming out of these. I believe these are 3.0 orifices, so that might be one of the big reasons why you'll see more water coming out of these, but that seemed pretty powerful, which is pretty cool. All right, the black is 10. That one doesn't seem to have a lot of water coming out of it, so interesting. At least not a lot of pressure. So that's 10. Let's see what happens with the other ones. This is 15. That works great. So 15 is pretty good. So maybe the 10's made for a different kind of flow. It is a different color, so maybe this is more of a low flow kind of thing for just sort of spot-free rinses. That would make sense, I guess. Then we've got 25. That looks good too. Lots of water coming out of there. And 40. Crazy how much wider these are than the ones that come with sunjoe. So the one thing that I ended up kind of replacing, as we talked about, is this foam cannon. If you're not doing it very often, this is going to work just fine if you happen to get this set up. It's not a bad foam cannon, but it is very tippy and it falls over quite a bit. It's also kind of hard to fill because of the small nozzle on top. These are kind of first world problems, but just something to keep in mind. It does a pretty good job of foaming. That being said, I did go ahead and purchase this McKillian's, which I'll link in the description as well. This one is much easier to fill and it really foams good. So I'm very impressed with this. I know there's some other ones from like MJCC, which were about another $30 or $40 more expensive than this one. So I think this setup right here is something I'm gonna be really happy with for years to come. Even if I replace the pressure washer in the future, I'm still gonna have these great accessories, so that's not a problem. So maybe I'll get a better pressure washer, maybe I'll just get a cheap one. And I'm just really happy overall with just how this stuff all turned out and how it works. The last thing that I've added since that original video was this IK foam sprayer. And I've purchased this because I'm trying to help not use so much wheel cleaner when I'm cleaning my wheels. I've been using All Clean by DIY Detail, and it does clean really well, but the first time I sprayed it on and I used on all 4 tires, I used most of the bottle that way. This last time I didn't have a whole lot left, but I was able to use much less product by using the foam sprayer. So this is something I'm hoping is gonna just save me from having to buy more wheel cleaner, because that's usually the stuff that's the dirtiest, the grittiest, and hardest to get off. I would say the first time out, it worked okay. I'm gonna need to just figure out the right dilution to get a little bit more foaminess out of it, but it definitely got product on and I was still able to clean my tires, and I'll do more of a review of that maybe down the line. So anyway, that is a quick update on the products that I purchased for my sunjoe. I think all of them were worth it. If I had to rank things, I would definitely say, look at the quick connects first. Those are only gonna be maybe $20 to $30 depending on your setup, which is great. Then I would say hose is probably next. It really makes things so much easier when you don't have to move your unit around your vehicle constantly. So the hose is definitely another pretty big upgrade. And if you only did those, you would probably be very happy. And depending on the unit, maybe it comes with a pretty good spray gun, who knows? Then I would look at the spray gun, and I think that is a very good upgrade, or potentially the foam cannon. So it would be either one of these next. If you're gonna constantly be foaming your vehicle and you can use this quick connect in your system without having to do any adapters to it, this is gonna be a great addition even to a cheaper system. But these two together make it super easy, and I don't have to worry about that really long wand being in the way all the time. Are all these things actually more expensive than the pressure washer itself? They are. But you can kind of mix and match this to your needs, which I think is great. So those are my thoughts on everything and kind of the order in which I might recommend something in terms of upgrading your system. I'm really happy with this. I will give long-term updates on these as well. But if I never purchase another product at this point, I'm very happy with this setup, and I think most people would be as well. Between this and the Uberflex, it seems like the professional reviewers like the Uberflex a little bit better, and they're around the same price. I think it's just really preference. This one works really well though too. And if you are looking at some of these products, I'd appreciate it if you used the links in the description because they do help the channel out. It doesn't cost you anything more, but it's helpful for me. Or if none of those things are something you're really interested in, if you just like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with anybody who might share a passion for DIY detailing, that would be fantastic too. So thank you so much for watching. Remember, live your life in beta, and we'll see you next time.